Good evening and welcome to Newsfeed. Today is Tuesday, October 30th. I'm Catherine Ragukis.
And I'm Sophia Kolodzinski. We're excited to have you here watching with us tonight. Let's see what's happening in Ann Arbor.
Last Tuesday, October 23rd, 10,000 books lined Liberty Street in Ann Arbor's Literature versus Traffic event. The U of M Institute for the Humanities invited Luz Interrupts, an art collector from Spain, to turn thousands of discarded books from around Ann Arbor into an art installation. From 5 to 11 p.m., traffic was blocked off on Liberty Street and thousands of books illuminated with LED lights lit up the road. Ann Arbor joins other cities like Madrid, Toronto, Melbourne, and New York City by showcasing the Literature versus Traffic installation. When asked about the literature intervention in such big city spaces, Luz Interrupts stated that they, quote, want literature to take over the streets and conquer public spaces, end quote.
This past Saturday, Academy Award and Golden Globe winner Jane Fonda came to Ann Arbor to support One Fair Wage, a political organization which advocates for the Michigan Minimum Wage Initiative. Serving breakfast at the Detroit Street filling station was just one of Fonda's many stops, as she travels around the state to campaign for various political causes. At the breakfast, Fonda was joined by Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrice Cullors, as they advocated for raising the Michigan minimum wage to $12. This One Fair Wage petition has been signed by over 400,000 voters in Michigan alone and will be on the ballot in November.
October 26th, the Ginsburg Center for Community Service and Learning held an event called Table Talks on the Central Campus Diag. Let's take a look at the event.
I'm Sophia Kolodzinski, reporting for Wolf TV. On Friday, October 26, 2018, the Edward Ginsburg Center at the University of Michigan hosted a table talk in the Diag. With just under 2 weeks until the midterm election, the table talk served as a great way for students to engage in conducive discourse about today's most important issues. Students had the opportunity to pick any topic they were interested in, sit down with a peer, and discuss the subject for as long as they'd like. Erin Burns, lead of Democratic Engagement at the Ginsburg Center, described the Table Talks event as a way to provide space for community members across campus to discuss pressing issues like gun laws, immigration, and the Me Too movement. She adds, our goal is for people to share their beliefs, in this case with a stranger, and to realize that while we have differences, we also have a lot in common and we all exist along a spectrum of political beliefs.
Now it's time for a short break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back to the show. You're watching Newsfeed. Let's get into our national news. On Saturday, October 27th, a gunman who frequently posted anti-Semitic threats on the internet burst into a busy Pittsburgh synagogue and opened fire, killing 11 people and injuring 6 others. 46-year-old Robert Bowers surrendered and was taken into custody after exchanging gunfire with police. U.S. Attorney General Scott Brady said federal prosecutors are seeking approval to pursue the death penalty against Bowers. Bowers was armed with an AR-15 and 3 handguns during the 20-minute assault. The synagogue in Pittsburgh, called the Tree of Life Congregation, is located in Squirrel Hill, which is known as the heart of Pittsburgh's local Jewish community. Governor Tom Wolf arrived at the scene Saturday and called the attack, quote, an absolute tragedy, unquote. President Trump said there would have been a different outcome if the synagogue had an armed guard at the building. He added the United States should, quote, stiffen up its laws on the death penalty, end quote. Bowers made his first appearance in court on Monday, to which he arrived in a wheelchair. The hearing lasted about 10 minutes, and U.S. Attorney General Scott Brady told reporters that Bowers would be detained without bond. Across the country, groups are fundraising for the victims, including Muslim groups such as Celebrate Mercy and Empower Change, that have raised over $80,000 from more than 1,800 donors as of Sunday afternoon. There are support networks here on campus at the University of Michigan for students seeking support.
Information was just released from the Commerce Department that the U.S. economy grew at a 3.5% rate for the third quarter. This follows a spike in 4.2% in the second quarter of this year. According to the Commerce Department, this change can be attributed to historically low unemployment, boosted by consumer spending and exports. If the current trajectory continues, this puts the economy on track for the fastest annual growth in 13 years. Despite this, some economists fear that President Trump's current trade war with China may begin to slow growth, projected to be 2.4 in 2019 as opposed to 3.5 this quarter.
And now it is time for the weekly market update. Stocks closed lower on Monday, giving up sharp gains from earlier in the day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average traveled more than 900 points today, closing at 24,442.92 points, a fall of 245.39 points, erasing a 352-point gain. At the lows of the day, the Dow was down 566 points before coming back shortly before the close. Monday's moves come after a 3% drop on the Dow last week, which was capped off by a decline of nearly 300 points on Friday. U.S. stocks got a boost earlier on Monday after IBM agreed to buy Red Hat, an open-source software distributor, for around $34 billion. American investors are looking forward to earnings this week from tech giants Facebook and Apple. Other expected earnings reports this week include Alibaba, China Telecom, ExxonMobil, Shell, and BP. In addition, the October jobs report comes out this Friday.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some international news.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay, but remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
The 1200 is moved down. Welcome back to Newsfeed. Now it's time for the international news. Jair Bolsonaro is Brazil's next president. Deemed, quote, the Trump of the tropics, unquote, by many media outlets, Bolsonaro appealed to Brazilians by promising to, quote, break the system, unquote, and depart from the status quo after a deep recession that began in 2016. In addition to the country's economic crisis, political turmoil has wreaked havoc on the nation, as a massive corruption scandal was uncovered targeting the highest levels of government and business, affecting many high-profile leaders. A rising crime has also left some voters looking for a new law and order candidate. As Bolsonaro is an ex-military officer, this promise was easy for him to make. Nonetheless, Bolsonaro has expressed a proclivity for the country's historic military dictatorship and his anti-democratic views, along his misogynistic, anti-LGBTQ, and racist statements, have left international leaders extremely concerned about the country's outlook. Though extremely controversial, Bolsonaro won the presidency by about 10 million votes, as a 55.1% voted for Bolsonaro, while 44.9% of the population voted for Fernando Haddad of the Workers' Party. President Trump congratulated Bolsonaro via Twitter on Monday.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel announced on Monday that she would not seek re-election for her 5th term. Merkel, aged 64, has led the Christian Democratic Union Party since 2000 and served as Prime Minister of Germany since 2005. Her current parliamentary term will end in 2021. Merkel has stated that she intends to, quote, completely withdraw from politics at that point, end quote. Several other party leaders of the CDU and CSU alliance are known to run as her replacement, but it's unclear who the favored candidate will be. As the European Union's longest-running leader, Merkel's decision not to run again will mark a significant shift in the nation's political landscape.
Lion Air Flight JT610 crashed in the sea off Jakarta, Indonesia at 6:30 a.m. local time on Monday, October 29th. The Boeing 737, owned by the low-cost airline Lion Air, went down after taking off the coast of Jakarta. There were 189 people on board. In a flight from Denpasar, Indonesia to Jakarta, Indonesia the night before, the plane had reported unspecified technical issues that were said to have been resolved, according to the Lion Air chief executive Edward Surratt. Surratt also said that the pilot carried out all pre-flight inspections, according to procedure, in addition to passing the mandatory drug screening. Currently, no sign of survival has been found, and the cause of the crash remains unclear. Search operations are still being carried out, although officials leading the search operations are pessimistic about the signs of survival.
Well, that's all we have for you for tonight. I'm Sophia Kolodzinski.
And I'm Catherine Ragukas.
And you've just been Newsfed.